But you know what? I've got a cup of tea, I've got classic FM on the radio, and I've got my thermal vest on. These look just odd. They're too perfect. They're like AI versions of dried orange, whereas these ones are proper. Big flakes, big flakes. Winter is no longer just coming. Winter is here. This week in West Sussex in the English countryside, the temperatures plummeted. In fact, we even had snow. This week I've continued to decorate the cottage and I can't wait to show you the progress that I've made. It's been a busy week, it's been a chilly week. There are things that I've managed to do and lots of things I haven't managed to do. But it's been beautiful out there and everyone I came across this week has just been in the most marvellous spirits. I don't know why, but I get the sense that people are prepared to start celebrating a bit earlier this year. I'm not sure why. So many more shops have their decorations up, like they're fully decorated. And so many more homes in this country have also decorated for Christmas already, including myself, obviously. When I was growing up and as a teenager and as a young adult, like you did not put your decorations up until the 1st of December was considered super early and a bit silly. And lots of people the week before Christmas. But I love that we're doing it earlier. I think that anything that makes you feel good, you should do for as long as possible. So before we jump into another cosy week in this cottage in the English countryside, I don't have any housekeeping, but I do have 2 huge thank yous. The first one is to Penny, who sent me a handwritten letter to the Deli. I was there when it was posted through by our postman, and the girls said, oh, there's a handwritten letter. And we don't usually get handwritten letters to the Deli. So I opened it when I got home, and I've got to say just a huge thank you to you, Penny, for handwriting such a wonderful letter in this world of emails and WhatsApps and I don't know. I was really touched, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. I loved reading it, and yeah, thank you. The other thank you is to you guys. Thank you so much for your comments and your humour and your encouragement. I said in the last vlog that I would get around to responding to all of them, and I haven't done that. I'm trying. I'm doing like 8 or 9 a day, and I haven't managed it yet, and I'm hoping that I will. The email advent calendar is doing really well with its subscriptions, and that has been incredibly heartwarming to see, and it's just really spurred me on. Actually, we've got already, I'm finishing it off now, and I'm like adding more stuff. We've got 2 free downloads in like the first 4 days. So I hope that you get huge value from it, and you enjoy it popping into your inbox from the 1st of December. But I'm going to stop waffling. No more housekeeping, just my thanks. So let me just invite you to spend the week with me in the English countryside once again. Stay cosy.
Sight for those of a childish disposition. Greeted us in the Shire this morning, thick. Put aside the thought that in moments you'd be striding out into it and trying to make your way to the bustling.
I'm trying to get the kitchen ready for Christmas. What I mean by that is that I swap things out, I put out Christmas mugs, I decorate the shelves, that sort of thing. Very Christmassy things that really don't suit the space in July or August. So join me as over the next couple of weeks I sort of transform this space into just a cosy nook of Christmasness. Is that a word? It is now. A couple of weeks ago I had 2 hops garlands delivered from Hewkins Hops, and I put one of them over the fireplace, over the hearth in the sitting room, and I didn't quite know where I wanted the other one. I was going to put it across the top of the window there in the kitchen, but I've decided instead to put it across here. So it's been in the box for about 2 weeks now, which isn't a good idea. I think that, well, according to the instructions, you're meant to hang them as soon as you get them. I wasn't ready to do that, so I'll see how it goes. If it looks awful, then I'll just have to take that on the chin and treat it as a learning curve, but hopefully it will be okay up here. I've got one hook there, so I'm going to centralise the garland first and then put another couple on either side just so I can see how it looks. It's going to shed, it's going to go everywhere. But you know what? I've got a cup of tea, I've got Classic FM on the radio, and I've got my thermal vest on. It's not doing brilliantly. Okay, I'm going to put the other hooks in. I wanted to position the garland before I positioned the hooks. And I've done that now. And I also found a hard drive that had fallen into the box. Oh. Okay, so, So I'll just get the hoover out. So I've hoovered up some of the hops, but I did sort of scrape the majority of them into the box that the hops came in, and I've composted them. They're really good to compost, and I looked this up actually, you have to be careful if you have dogs, because the dogs shouldn't ingest hops, but that won't happen in this case. The other thing, and it says this on the instructions that I got from Hukin's Hops, and I don't know whether you can see it, but you get quite a sticky, oily, greasy sort of dust from them. So I was careful not to tread them into either of the floors, and I rubbed it. There's someone at the door, hold on. Where was I? This yellow sort of oily dust. When I was putting the hops up and then when I was cleaning them off, I got it on my hands, and it's like pollen, so it stains quite similarly to pollen, but it's very greasy, like a tiny amount. So I'm going to wipe all of the surfaces. I'm so pleased I got them up. I should have listened to the instructions. I wasn't ready to put them up, so, you know, it's my own fault and I get it. So they've dried a lot and I've lost, you know, they've shed a lot. But they're up now, and if I buy more, so next year, because I think you have to replace them annually, I'll know exactly where to put them. I think that just happens sometimes, and they're going to dry anyway. So they're going to look like this in like 6 months. So I've just sped the process up. So since I had my very own first kitchen, I have felt that lighting within a kitchen is very important, and I never ever have the big light on in any room in any house unless I'm looking for something, and then it goes off immediately. I light most of my spaces with fairy lights and with lamps, and in the winter with candles. I subscribe to a hygge type of environment, and love Denmark for that, for bringing that into my life. We don't have a word for hygge in English. I think the closest to it is cosy. Which is why you'll hear me talk about coziness all the time. For me, it's a sense of well-being. It's a way of life. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to light the hops. I can't light through them because they'll just disintegrate. So I'm going to put some hooks on the beam behind the lights and almost light them from behind. It won't be enough to light the kitchen, but it will be enough just to let some light through and just to give a sense of coziness up there, because if I'm not careful, that will become too dark a space. So I've got these here. I've got 2 strings of these. They're on a white flex, they're warm white, and I'm going to put one this side and one the other, and we'll see how it goes. And they will stay there year round. They're not just for Christmas. There's nothing like hanging fairy lights to the strains of the Elgar cello concerto on the radio. These look so pretty. So I'm going to start here, I think. So there we are with the lights behind the hops. They're not running through. Actually, they sort of light a larger space, so they're just up there on the beam. But by lighting behind them, they light a larger space than if I had just run the lights through the hops themselves. I am rather covered in hops though. But I guess that's a hazard of the job. That's okay. So that side of the hops are lit, and then I've still got this side to do. And then once all of that's done, and so you'll see here, I've got this this flex here that needs to be sorted and put away neatly. Once all of that's done, I can start really sort of decorating the shelves and putting all the things out that I want to. But is this okay? Is this all right? Are you bored watching this process? Should I just have hung them all and then showed you the finished result? I never know. I'll put the other lights up on the other side and show you. Bear with me. Okay, there we are. The hops are lit from behind, and I'm pleased with them. I think it will look, certainly at night time and in the early morning, it will look so cosy. So there they are. Do you like them? I'm really pleased with them. I think the idea of lighting them from behind is not like, oh, it's such a good idea, but I couldn't thread them through the hops. So I had to put them behind. And I think sometimes when something goes wrong and it forces you to look for another way of doing it, it can often work out better. And I think in this case it has done. It's allowed that entire top half of the wall to be lit, and I'm really pleased with it. I'm really pleased with it. Oh, it's so cosy around here at the minute. It really is. And it's nice to be getting ready for Christmas so early, and I love showing you guys all that I'm up to. I've got to go and do some boring work now because this has taken most of the morning. But that's okay, it was worth it. They'll be up there for a long time, unless they fall down, which they're not going to. Let's make traditional dried orange Christmas decorations. I'm going to do them in both the air fryer and the oven and see what works best. I've never dried oranges in the air fryer before, so I'm going to see how they turn out. But first we need to slice them. I have a dozen large oranges here, and to start with I'm going to slice off either end. There we are, just like that. So just to take you through the process, I saw a TikTok where a person used their mandolin to cut their oranges. And I just thought, oh, well, I've got a dozen here. That will save me a lot of time. But I don't think my mandolin is sharp enough. If it is, it's just not working well for me. And it was squishing the oranges and I was ending up with that. I'll still use that, but it's not ideal and it wasn't really cutting brilliantly. So I then moved on to my very sharp knife here. I thought it was sharp, but then I remembered this amazing serrated knife that I have that we use down at the Deli actually. It's by Taylor's Eyewitness. Gosh, that sounds like, yeah, Taylor's Eyewitness. And we use these down at the Deli all the time. When I bought the Deli, there were loads of these as stock. So I bought quite a few of them home. They never ever seem to blunt. They last for years and years and years. They're amazing. So I've moved on to this serrated knife and look, I've got just the most amazing thickness and a really sharp cut on these oranges. So I'm just going to carry on using this. Look, it's like a saw. It's perfect. And look at that. That's the perfect thickness. I want them to dry really quickly and to be very, very light when I hang them up. Here we are. I've got my oranges on this baking tray like this, but before I put them on, I blot them and soak up as much of the juice as possible. Excuse my nails. I seriously need to do something about them. I think I do too much with my hands to have painted nails. Anyway, there we are. So that gets a lot of the juice out actually, just doing that. You can tell it makes it so much drier. So the oranges have been sliced, blotted of any excess juice, and put onto a baking tray and then popped in the oven. I used the slotted baking trays and then put some parchment paper on another baking tray and put that right at the bottom so that it would catch any juice. I've got them in the oven at about 90 degrees and I've got them in the air fryer at 60. There's a dehydrate setting on the air fryer that I'd never even noticed before. So I'll let you know how it goes and how long it all takes. I know that I've had a couple of argas before and I love doing it that way because you just slice them, blot them and put them on top and leave them. You never ever have to watch them and they dry perfectly. This is slightly different as I'm doing it in appliances. The oranges are so good though. I've eaten 2 of them. But I think, tell me if you're the same. I mean, obviously I crave chocolate or bread, you know, you just feel like a carb or a sugar rush if you're feeling, you know, ravenous or out of energy. But sometimes there's things like, with oranges actually, I know that I need the vitamin C. And so I have to have something citrusy. I have it with steak as well. I need to have a big steak and I need to have spinach. And I just think that's for iron. And I think that that's my body telling me that I need some vitamin or nutrient or something like that. So I try not to ignore it, even if it means I have to go and buy more oranges to dry. I'd rather eat them right now. I actually have an autoimmune disease thing called pernicious anemia, which means that my body can't absorb iron. There's something in my blood called the intrinsic factor, which means that I can't absorb I know this, I know the answer to it. I think I'm a bit tired again. But I've been having B12 shots for about 13 years. And I used to have them every 3 months and now I have them every 8 weeks because by the time 8 weeks was rolling around, I was just on the floor with fatigue. So I think that the iron thing is something to do with that. I'm not sure what the vitamin C citrus thing is though. But let me know if you know. Maybe it's just because I want an orange. Maybe it's just because we all need vitamin C to stop the lurgy. First frost. First frost. Oh, so gorgeous, so gorgeous. It's all crunchy. gorgeous magnolia. Gorgeous freezing sun. Freezing sun. It's freezing and the sun's out. So it's the next day and the results of my orange drying are in. So these are the ones that I did in the air fryer on the dehydrating setting. The length of time was 5 hours. So it's a fairly long time. And they've come out like this. Oh, it's not focusing, is it? Let me put it there because it always focuses. This setting always focuses on faces. So that's how they came out, like that. Pretty perfect. Yeah, pretty perfect actually. But I'm not sure about them. Let me show you the oven ones. Now I like these oven ones. So this is an oven one. And this is an oven one. Can you see the difference? I mean, some of them were on the edge of the tray and look, that's slightly charcoaly. So these are oven and these are air fryer dehydraty ones. You'll get used to me. There are often times I can't speak. I kind of like these ones. I just think they're a bit more rustic looking. These look just odd. They're too perfect. They're like AI versions of dehydrated, dried orange. Whereas these ones are proper. These are Victorian Christmas oranges. And I like them. They're all different. So some of them, look, this is a bit of peel. That was in a bit too long. But, and look, this one. That one was on the edge, so I won't be able to use that. That's like toast. Well, I might be able to use it, but anyway. So I think for me personally, I would use the oven method. So I've got this window here that overlooks, looks out onto the drive. And I've put a hook up there and some wire that's going along there and up to another hook there. And I'm going to put a garland onto it. So the garland is in place. It's hanging down a little bit, but that's okay. I have hung so many garlands this Christmas so far that if one of them, so this one is a bit sort of bulky on the right-hand side of it, I don't care anymore. These garlands can do what they like as long as they stay up. I'm not a professional decorator. I enjoy it, but I don't do window dressing or anything like that. So if my garland is slightly wonky, that's okay. But what I am going to do, I put my hair back again. So again, I mean business, is I'm going to decorate the garland up there with my dried oranges. And this is how I'm going to do it. These are so simple to make. I've got some lovely red ribbon here that I got in my ribbon haul from Sostre Gren a few weeks ago. And I thought I might like to use this for something like this. It's got that lovely blue red to it. I've got this plastic darning needle, so it's got that very thick eye here that I can thread the ribbon through. And all I do, I'll thread the little segments of orange onto the ribbon. But I do it in a certain way, which is in there. Oh, it's a bit crunchy. And then I pull the ribbon through so that it doesn't get all sticky and stuck. Pull it through as soon as possible. Excuse my nails again, I've not had time to touch them up. And then I go right over onto this side here. Pull it through. So the ribbon goes across the entire width of the orange. So one more in there, pull it through, across to the other side, pull it through like that. And there we go, the start of my garland. It's quite long. Okay, I didn't film the rest of it because I almost fell off the chair. I was so clumsy and I stepped badly on the chair and yeah. So I stopped filming there, composed myself, made a cup of tea and then went back up and hung the garland. I'm sorry, I didn't sleep again. So I shouldn't be operating heavy machinery like dried orange garlands. But I'm so happy with it. It looks so lovely. I've still got some other bits to put on the garland. I might put some little baubles on there. Let me show you again.
Christmas, there is just one thing I need, and I care about the Christmas beneath the Christmas tree. Hear the magical red distance. We just sounded completely different. Okay, here's some. What more can I do? All I want for Christmas is you. Ooh, baby. Said I want you to bring me the one I really need for the Christmas. Cherry's gonna think like, why are you singing like this? I know. We do promise we have no. The cafe is empty.
Something I truly, truly love at this time of year, especially in this part of the world, are the Christmas markets. I went to one last week and I'm going to one today. There's one tomorrow, but there's a storm coming in, so I don't know whether it will go ahead. We do Christmas markets really well around here. Wonderful independent sellers, beautiful locations, and they're a great place not only to buy gifts for Christmas, but also just to start to get into the spirit and the atmosphere of the season. So come with me as we go to Grittenham Barn Christmas Fair. I'm so lucky, it's literally just down the street. I'm continuing to decorate for Christmas. And now it's the turn of this tall boy. This was meant to go in my bedroom upstairs, but the cottage has a very narrow staircase, and even though part of the banister was taken out, which is fine, it's meant to come out for this very purpose, getting furniture upstairs, this was far too heavy and big and blah blah blah. So it's now in the sitting room, and I'm pleased. It's got tons and tons of fabric in there. And it's got napkins and tablecloths, and so I'm going to decorate it very simply. I've put a garland up here already with a pine cone and a little tartan ribbon, so that's going there. This enormous dish here is going to have paperwhites in it very soon. I've got my little snowy scene there, and I've got some candles, and I'm just going to put some conifer cedar all over the surface of the top of the tall boy. Do you like it? Yeah? Prudence is watching. She's just monitoring, actually. She's a little bit of a spy and really quite judgy. So it doesn't look much right now. The candles aren't lit. There's no colour on it, and I've got no shades on those little those little lamps. But once I've added all of the colour and the decoration and I've lit the candles, it will look a lot more lovely. This weekend we've had Storm Bert visiting us. So on Saturday morning I ran lots of errands. I went down to the Deli. I did lots of bits before the storm hit. One of those was visiting Oxenford Farm, which is about half an hour outside of Petworth. I've been going to Oxenford Farm since before my children were born to get our Christmas trees. It's the most amazing Christmas tree farm, and I love it. If you're in the area, then do visit. I got a tiny tree, a 4-foot tree for the Deli, which I need to light and put outside. And I also got all of the garlands that I need to finish off the cottage and the Deli. And when I saw this bunch of mistletoe, I couldn't resist. Come with me to Oxenford Farm as I pick up the first of perhaps 3 trees this year. Thank you so much again for joining me this week. I feel like I'm getting there with the decorating at both the cottage and the Deli. I've still got bags and bags of decorations all over the place, but I'm slowly beginning to filter them and get lots of them back in the garage. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I look forward to coming back next week and just showing you the progress. I also look forward to joining you in your inbox for my email advent on the 1st of December. The link to receive those emails is in the description of this vlog. Have a wonderful, wonderful, cosy week. I'm going to be sheltering from Storm Bert today, eating lots of toast and drinking lots of tea. Have a perfect day wherever you are. Stay cosy and lots of love.